Hey guys, I'm Scott, and today we're going to teach you how to install one of the safest horse products out there called Cameo fencing. Cameo fencing is one of the coolest products out there if you have horses. It's super safe, it's really easy to install, it's really cost effective. So with today's video, you're going to see the part 2 of us installing it on this fence here. So we're going to install the Cameo line, and then we're going to install the electric also. So you guys are going to get a little bit of both to see how we install and the products we use to put it in place. And if you guys do like the Cameo products, don't forget to check out their website. I'll link it in the description. And if you use the code Midwest Cowgirl at the checkout, you will get 5% off your order, which is really nice. Now, before you start this project, understand that your prep work and your plan are key for quick and easy installation. So I'm going to show you some footage from last year. You can see that we installed all of this. We brought it all the way around here, and then we wrapped it around, going right to here. This is where we ended, okay? So where this old wood fence is that's kind of falling apart, okay? So we finished it here, and what's kind of cool is that Cameo has a really cool product called a collar tie, and if you can see it, it is wrapped around here. You put it around the corners when you're going around an inside of a corner, and it acts both as an insulator and it locks it in place. There's this really cool key on it, so as you can see, when you need to lock it in place, you put your line through it, put this little key in place, and it locks it in and it never goes anywhere. Aside from that corner collar tie, there's only a few pieces you need for hardware to make this project work. You'll need insulators, which you're gonna use for your electric, and you can also use them for your Cameo line as well, which I'm gonna talk about that in a second here as to why I put it through the post versus using an insulator, okay? You'll also need a one-way vise, which is this right here. This locks that line in place. It'll never pull back out, and you can tension it really easily from here. You'll need these end post insulators for your Cameo Pulse, and you'll also need this little clip just to lock the Cameo Pulse in place, your electric line, because you don't want it sliding around going anywhere. All right, I wanna talk about those insulators really quick, okay? Cameo could see the installation of the Cameo line through the post, like I'm gonna show you, as an improper installation. And they will recommend that you use insulators for all installation of lines, not just the electric, okay? But I'm gonna show you why I do it. I did it this way, one, because I like the look of it. But beyond that, I wanna show you fencing from this property that is super old. And as you can see, they went through the post. As you can tell, these posts are really old. They have been around the farm for at least 20 years, and the line is still perfectly in place. It is not going anywhere. The insulators are popping off, other things are breaking, the fence posts themselves are breaking. The line itself though, totally intact, not going anywhere. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's actually talk about the installation. The first thing I do is lay out where I want my posts, my H-braces, my gate. I get a good plan for that going first. I measured everything out, and as you can see, I have all my posts in place. Everything is right where it wants to be. You can space the post 12 feet, which I was able to do on most of the lines here actually, except for at the end there I had to space it 11 feet because it just came down to that number. But you can space it up to 12 feet, which is nice because you can actually maximize your lines that way. The next thing I do is measure out where I want all my lines to be. So I usually run a string line. I have a nice marking board here that I use, and it has all my lines. So I have Cameo starting at 18 inches, and then every 10.5 inches after that, I alternate the Cameo Pulse and the Cameo monofilament line. And so then I work my way up, and then what I do is I just go down the line on all the posts and mark exactly where I want each thing to go. So I know now everything is gonna be in line, and if you see here, I'll show you this. I did the same thing on this side, and you can see everything is nice and uniform, and it looks really clean. We have our posts in place, we have our layout set. We also installed H-braces, which I'll link here so you guys understand what those are and how to install them. These braces are important because they put a lot of tension, lateral force on the corners of the posts. So if you just had a post, it would eventually sag to the center and then your line would be really loose. So you need to make sure you're installing H-braces that counter that lateral force that the Cameo is gonna put on your fence. Now, before we install the fence, we need to bore our holes for our one-way end vices that's gonna go through the line. So they're gonna go in here, the line's gonna go through it and lock it all into place. So we need to make sure that we have these bored out so that this fits inside there. And then we're also gonna drill all of our holes for the line to go through the posts. We need to use a 3/4 inch drill bit to bore out the holes. This red mark here is actually pretty much right on where you need to drill it to, so just make sure you give it a little room here. So we're gonna do that for all 3 of your lines. You're gonna make sure, as you can see, we test it out, fits in there perfectly, and we're good to go. So now that we have this bored out for those end vices, we're gonna take a 3/8 drill bit, go down to each of the posts, and drill through where all that Cameo monofilament line is, not the electric, the Cameo. And we're gonna make sure that it can go all the way through so that our line just pops right through everything. All right, so now I'm gonna go down to the other end. We're gonna put the vise in, put the line through, and we're gonna feed it through until we get to here and put the other one on this side. Really simple after this point. You're literally just grabbing the line, putting it through each of these holes that you drilled out, and you're good to go. So I'm gonna take a knife, cut this off, and now we're just gonna lock it into place. Really easy, see it goes right through. That goes right in there. Tension it, and as you can see, it's already ready to go. I'll cut this off towards the end here. I just want to show you guys the whole process for installation. So I'm going to do the next couple lines here now, and then after that, we'll show you how to do the installation of the Cameo Pulse. There we got our last line we're putting in. All right, we got it through the vise, tensioning it, and there are tools to tension it, but honestly, by hand has never been an issue. And here we go. I'll show you guys the product here so far. So we're halfway done. Nice clean lines through everything, and it goes all the way down. And it looks really good. So now the last thing we gotta do is just install that Cameo Pulse, and this fence is done, minus a gate, and we're good. All right guys, now we're gonna install the Cameo Pulse, but before we do that, we do need to install an end post insulator and our inline insulators on the post so that everything is connected to the plastic and not the wood so it grounds out. We're gonna start with the end post insulators. We already have those marked out like we did earlier, so everything is in line. We're gonna do the 3/8 drill bit. I wouldn't go bigger than that because otherwise you're gonna run the risk of this thing pulling out. So this is probably the appropriate size drill bit to make sure that the end post insulator stays in place. I usually start by hand threading it. And then after that, what's actually worked best for me for threading these things on is actually just a pipe wrench. But use whatever works best for you. But this pipe wrench grabs onto it and it flies. And this piece, I try to put in as far as I can. It's probably the most dangerous part of the fence because it sticks out. But aside from these 2 pieces that are at only the corners, everything else is very safe, very slim in its profile. You know, the horses should be really safe with this product. All right, so now we're gonna install the bottom one, same process. And then after that, we're gonna nail these into place and we'll go from there. So we're gonna install the last part here. It's the insulators. I already have the rest strung up or installed down the line just so you guys can see that, but they are in place. And these are really easy. I just follow my mark, put it right in the center, and then I nail them into place. If you're gonna use nails, please make sure they're galvanized and coated for exterior use, especially for wood posts, because the treated stuff is harsh on the nails and screws. Cameo sells big buckets of these hex screws that are really nice to use, really quick and easy to use and install. So I would recommend that if you're not sure what product to use to install these. So now that we have that done, we're gonna string up our line. I'm gonna show you how to use that electric line clamp to attach to each of the insulators, and we're pretty much done after that. So this here is the Cameo Pulse. It has woven steel in the line. I don't know if you guys can see that from here. I'll try to go in close. But it has a lot of areas for connectivity. And then we're gonna attach it with one of these little clamps here. Just has a little Phillips head on top. And we're gonna basically just wrap it around and clamp it into place so it's all stuck in there. The clamps can be just a little bit tricky at first. Nothing too bad, just gotta get everything in place. And once they are, everything usually sits really nice. Okay, so now that we have this all in place, as you can see, it's nice and tight, it's not going anywhere. We're gonna go down, follow each of the insulators, and then we're gonna do the same thing at the other end where we connect it with one of these guys. All right, we made it to the end. Loop it around. As you can see, I pre-cut this, so there's definitely extra. I'm gonna cut off some of the slack for right now. Metal shears usually does the trick. It cuts through it really easy. Take our line, wrap it around, and then we're gonna use that little metal clamp, tether this back into place. It is tensioned. We'll test it out, see how it feels. It feels pretty tight. All right, so I think everything's good there. We're gonna install that last line, and then I'm gonna show you guys the final product here. All right guys, there you have it, the final product. As you can see, all the lines are in place. We have the Cameo, the monofilament line through all the posts. We have our Cameo Pulse installed. we have the Post Insulators, and then you have the electric clamps to hold the line in place. And then we have our insulators going down so nothing gets grounded out. I hope you guys liked the video. Please give us a like and subscribe if you guys like the content. We do post a lot of horse content as well as farm videos. In addition to that, don't forget to check out the Cameo's website. And again, we have a promo code, Midwest Cowgirl. When you put that in at the checkout under the promos or discounts, you get a 5% discount on your order. Be sure to follow us, like I said. The next video I'll do is a gate installation so you can see how I go about hanging up a gate, and then you can also see the final product for all this here. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.